Tight shit. Oh, everybody listen again. It's good, chat. Like, turn this shit the fuck up. Hold on, real quick. Let's battle real quick, Joel. Let's battle.
I can't, brother.
Get your ass up off the couch.
I can't.
Let's fucking battle.
I'm sorry, brother. I can't. I got my little baby dogs here chilling, bro.
Come on, twin.
I'm sorry, twin. I'm gonna keep it moving, man. I love your vibes, but I gotta keep them going, brother.
Hold on, John.
What's up, man?
What are we talking about right now, John? What are we talking about, John? Talk to me.
Okay, so what this is, bro, is a podcast if you want to participate. But if you're vibing, dude, you're vibing. No big deal.
Participate. I'm down to participate with anything. I'm cross my legs like you.
Okay, cool, man. So basically what this is called What's the Worst Pod? It's just a judgment-free conversation where you let me know what's the worst going on with you, big or small. I hold space and listen, or can share some perspective from my own life. Let me know.
Damn. We're having a real live therapy session right now, man.
In a sense, yes. But again, your vibe, you're going so happy. You got the shirt with the smiley faces. I don't want to bring you down, man. So I can keep it moving, man. No worries.
Hell no. I got the smiley shirt and faces. I'm smiling because I'm lying.
Okay. If you want to share your truth, brother, let me know.
All right, let's lock in, chat. All right. So, man, life is what it is. But, right now, I just got let go of my job. I was there for 2 years. And, when you lose your job, you go through a financial crisis. And that's pretty much what I'm going through right now. But, I'm fine. I have my family with me. And sometimes it really gets to me, like, the real stuff that actually really gets to me. It's like I can't really. It's weighing heavy on me because I can't really get it all the way out. No Diddy, but it's just my children. Honestly, like I strive to be, one of the best dads I can be because I never had a dad growing up. And sometimes I take, some of my downfalls that I go through in my life, and I take it very hard because, I really care about my children a lot, and I know that they need their dad. And sometimes it really makes me emotional, because I can't be there for them while I'm out having to provide and take care of myself, and in the same breath I have to take care of them as well. But at the same time, I don't get to see them as much as I want to. And it's just really kind of hard from a man's perspective of what this life is really about, because you're going to be by yourself in the long run. And I'm not saying everybody's going to go through the same experiences. If I've tried love and tried to be in a relationship with the mom, and it just seemed like, a lot of times I'm by myself. And, I really want my children in my life because I feel like they understand me and I understand them, and all the help that they need, I can ultimately give them. But, life sometimes just been wearing me down, where it's just like both of my hands are tied and I don't know what to do, and I try to exhaust things, and sometimes time is my biggest opponent. Just ultimately, like how my heart is just super big for my children. Like I don't really think about too much besides them. I think about myself and my mom and my family, but my children are my main priority because, like I said, I didn't grow up with a dad. So me being a protector and a provider and being on top of my ball game is, one of my biggest things in my life, and that's every man. And, that's every man. But I'm getting through it. I'm going through it. I'm on my Bible app every day, just talking to God and just, trying to gain understanding of what's going on, even if I don't understand it. Let me just trust it. So those are one of my main things, especially for my son. Yeah, I had like a little situation. Like when I was working for the 2 years that I was there, I wasn't able to be, the dad that I needed to be because my job was so demanding. And things that happened to my son that would have never happened if I was there, and God does things in mysterious ways. The job ended up, terminating me. And it wasn't because like I'm a bad worker or anything like that. They just changed management so many times and brought in people that were just really nasty and mean. And They want to pick with you, and as soon as you retaliate, they fire you. So, everything happens for a reason. Um, I'm just trying to trust God and what He's trying to tell me to do right now. That's literally all I'm doing. I'm walking with faith, not by sight. I'm walking by faith.
Mhm.
I just keep telling myself that I believe that, God wouldn't have brought me this far and this point in my life for me to fail and fall. So it doesn't really connect with me that way. So, I'm just trying to be the safe haven for myself and for my children, and those are my main things. That's pretty much my main thing. My just being a dad and just being the present dad that I need to be, because I didn't have a present dad, and I can see how much that affected my life as a man.
Mhm.
And I take a lot of that stuff serious. So, I just try to keep my head away from that, because there'd be times where I'm just having a good time, or I'm, just out living my life, and next thing you know, I'll get a random wave of what God is telling me what I need to do, and it doesn't go away because it's at a random. It's like I'm having a good time, and next thing you know, it's just okay. And then then I have to lock back in to what reality is really telling me that I need to do. So that's pretty much my my talk, I guess, for the things that are the worst for me at the moment. I'm not gonna say like my life is the worst, because I don't. The tongue is very powerful, and I don't want to say things that will ultimately stick to me. I want the best for myself, and I want the best for my family. So, I try to stay positive, and throughout all facets of life, whatever I go through, I try to stay positive, because you never know what the end result may be. Praying that it's a great one, but you know, life is life, and that's my biggest thing. Life is life, and I'm just trying to be the best that I can be. And sometimes there's a lot of roadblocks and skills and personality traits that you need in order to become that. And I sit back firsthand and just watch and just see how things operate. And sometimes I don't like how certain things operate. Sometimes I don't like how this world operates. I don't like how certain things are the way they are, and that highly pisses me off, like
Mhm.
that's why I'm a loner. I'm by myself a lot of the time, majority of the time. Most men are by themselves. But yeah, I didn't know when I was a kid growing up with my mom that I was going to be alone like this. Didn't know. I didn't have the capacity to think that, the term lonely doesn't, it's just no, 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 no. It's completely different. Like saying it and feeling it is two completely different things. So, and then, I'm trying to get my daughter situated. She's getting older. She's requiring more things, and you know, sometimes it's just I try to give the best that I can, but sometimes, I'm still a little bit inadequate, because she deserves to have what she wants. Like my son, he's very simple to please. Like he'll come in here and play video games, go in his room, got a basketball going there for him. He has his own game system. But my daughter, she's a little bit different. So like I said, I've been away for 2 years, not really getting a chance to really see my children's development and what they like and what they like to do. I just been feeling like an ATM, honestly. So now that I don't have it, it's just like, where are you guys at?
Mhm.
So just trying to battle some of the things that's being said in my mind, and just always trying to look at the bigger picture, and look at the glory of the sacrifices that were made and be proud of them. So that's just my life right there, chat. Just the everyday struggle as a man, as a black man in America. I thank God that neither one of my baby mamas put me on child support. I think that for a fact, because I'm a great dad, but I just want to be heavily involved more, because the growth and the maturity and the mindset and the personality, it has to be structured, because this world is crazy. So I've been doing a good job talking to my son's stepdad. My BM, she's married, so I talk to his stepdad. We talk, and we have our little talks about what we need to do, and little building blocks that make me feel a lot more confident, a lot more better about what's going on, because I don't have him. He's with his mom and his sister. They have a family over there, so and I'm by myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's literally I wake up by myself. So it's just trying to push through because sometimes I feel like I have to be the richest man in the world in order to have some type of power. And I don't know what to do sometimes. I don't have the most, but I'm trying to do whatever I can with what I have. Trying to. It's one of those things, man. It's really one of those things. My mom actually just told me you need to go get a therapist, Juwan. I said, I don't know if I'm ready, Mom.
Can I say a couple things real quick, brother? I thank you for sharing your
Yes,
story,
sir.
man. Yeah. So first of all, I want to commend you on the fact that you're being present in your child's lives because you didn't have a father growing up in your life, and you see how it affected you. So that's a big step in general
Yes.
because a lot of other men typically
Yes.
sometimes can be like, well, I'm fine by myself, not having a father. They'll figure it out too, and that just starts a vicious cycle, right? And so I completely understand and resonate with that. I'm also sorry about the situation with the job stuff like that as well because I myself have been in many jobs where there's politics and there's egos and all these things that don't really mesh. And sometimes too, if you can see the systems that are at play and see there's better ways to do things, they don't want to
Yes.
hear all that. So I understand that as well. So the other thing I would say too, man, or I want to ask you, do you believe in therapy or have you ever tried it before or no? Because you said you're kind of hesitant about it.
Yeah, I mean, I've never tried it. My mom just came out of thin air and was just like, I think you should try therapy because she said something about me feeling like me having to deal with people when I don't have to deal with them. And it just feels. She said she thinks that I feel like I just need to deal with people when I don't have to deal with them. Um, and I'm trying to figure out what that's about. Like I said, I'm still doing inner work and outer work. You know, um, I started dating my ex-girlfriend again, and it's just been bad. It's just been terrible, actually. When I left her, my life went up.
Mm.
Um, yeah, when I left her, my life actually went up. Um, and as soon as I started talking to her again, like just a couple of days ago, I had to call the cops on her.
Oh, wow.
She was in here pushing on me. She's literally mad at me because I went to one of my coworkers. Well, she was my coworker. Like I said, I was there for 2 years, almost 3 years. Um, I went over there to go hang out. She's my friend. I haven't seen her in a long time. She lives in my neighborhood. Um, I've been with my girl ever since, and they got tired of her. And then my other friend, he was with her. They both got tired. It was like, bro, we want to hang out with you. So we were arguing. She kind of she left my house, and then she kind of ignored me, didn't talk to me, and then I went out with my friends because they literally came to my door, and I went to go hang out with them, and then her whole thing is that I cheated on her. I was not loyal because she said she didn't like the girl, but the girl don't even know who she is. Um, Talking about I was being disloyal. My friend went to Sam's Club, got me some water and a pack of chicken. Thank you. I appreciate that. You know? Um, she got mad at that and was like, oh, you got other women taking care of you. I'm like, no, she's just a friend. She just looked out. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't necessarily nothing like she wants me or we're being romantic. No, I would never put myself in that situation, first and foremost. She's mad because I went to her house, but I'm like, she's my friend. There's nothing like that, you know? But outside of that, that situation is a little crazy. I'm thinking about dropping that because I don't really necessarily need it, but I just missed her company. She's a cool person. She introduced me to anime. I've been watching Attack on Titan. We talk about gaming. It's a lot of we have a lot of things that we're in common, and when we're happy, it's just like we happy, like it's a really good time. But when it's bad, it's bad. You know what I'm saying? It's really, really bad. Like we won't see each other for a week, arguing every single day. And I'm like, no, I can't do it. Like literally right now, my chest is hurting. Nobody would ever know. But just letting y'all know. Like my chest is hurting right now. But I'm up and I want to be happy. Because I've been laying in the bed for way too long. That can be a little depressing itself, So yeah, you got the right one.
Yeah, and again, I thank you so much again for sharing so much, and especially going to the relationship side of things as well, because I was thinking to myself before you went down the road about the girlfriend that you're currently with, and that it's kind of bad or toxic, things like that. But I myself been down that road where it's like you go back to things that you know, and you're like, this is easy, it's convenient,
Yes,
and stuff like that, which
yes,
isn't always the
yes.
best solution for you at the in the long scheme of things. Because I'm curious too. Do you think about the kind of the way that the bad times are so bad, and if your kids are influenced around that engagement between you two? Has that ever been a problem by any chance?
Maybe with her son, but her son is autistic and he's nonverbal.
Mm,
Um, so he don't really process information the same way everybody else does.
understandable.
But it still doesn't take away the fact that it's still being done in front of him.
Mhm.
When I was living with her, maybe like 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, I did live with her. She was a big crutch in my life. She helped me out when I was going through a lot. She took care of me, and I can't take that away from her. But at the same time, I just be feeling like she does these things to be able to tell me that she did these things.
Like
It's not
holds
really
it over
like
your head kind of thing, maybe?
yes,
Okay.
and you know what? And I paid attention. I paid attention to her and her mom and her sister and just their family. That's very common. Her mom is a six-figure earner, um, and she pretty much takes cares of her kids. And I listen to the way she talks to her children, and she'll do things for them, but then she'll dingle it over their head,
Mm,
and it's kind of like the same thing she does to me. And I don't never really go back and forth with her because it's just like, for what?
mhm.
Like, there's no point. Like, if I'm going to do something for you, I'm doing it for you. I'm not doing it for you to hang it over your head, you know? The only time that will probably be brought up is if I feel like you're not being appreciative. And
Mhm.
I tell you, hey, this is what I did for you. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Not to dingle it over your head, but just to highlight and let you know, hey, you don't know what you're talking about right now. I mean, I know you may be in your emotions, you may be feeling some type of way. That's cool, but like, and she kind of like discredits me a lot. Some of the things that I do that she says I don't do. But once again, I feel like that may be, you speaking out of anger, because that's, people talk out of anger and don't really logically think before they say stuff. Especially, I don't want to be a sexist or anything like that, but women are more built emotional. So they're going to talk out of term. They're going to say the worst thing they can say to hurt your feelings, no matter the repercussions or the punishment. They don't care. They're aiming to hurt your feelings regardless of how you feel.
Mhm.
So and it's a lot of things, like, I ain't gonna say I operate off pride, but it's just like, my pride is everything. As a man, my pride is everything. And I try to do the right things. I try to be the best that I can be. I try to treat people fair, help people when I can, assist when I can. If I can give somebody advice, I give them advice, try to help them, it's a lot of things about me that I just wouldn't do. I don't assassinate people's characters. I don't judge people. I look at people for who they are and accept them for who they are, and if you have weaknesses in your character, then yeah, we can most definitely work on that, But I ain't here to control. I ain't here to tell people what they need to do. I'm here to give you directions and guidance, but ultimately you can always make your own decision,
Mhm.
So I'm just here to be who I need to be. But lately it's been kind of hard to get back to where we were because she's just so heavily held on me cheating on her. She thinks that I cheated on her with my friend, and no,
Mhm.
never. I couldn't do that. She's a friend. She's younger than me.
Gotcha. And so, um, my next thing would be like, when it comes to this whole isolation situation you're dealing with, where you're kind of by yourself a lot, are you able to talk to other people about this since you don't know about the therapy thing just yet? Like, do you feel like you can confide in like maybe your mom, you said, or other adult figures that have lived life and like maybe shed some perspective for you by any chance, or no? Or do you kind of hold it to yourself and just handle it yourself because you know everyone else has
That's
got
where life.
problems?
That's where life has got me. I mean, the only person that I can honestly trust and talk to that actually cares about talking to me the same way that I feel about talking is my mom. So
Hmm.
everyone else, they're there for you. They hear a little bit, but everybody's going through their own problems, and I understand that. So um, my friend, he'll talk to me. We'll talk on the Xbox. We'll talk on the mic. We'll holler at each other about stuff. But he has to work. We worked together at the last job. But yeah, we would talk. And but outside of that, I mean, a lot of this stuff, I honestly just chalk it up and talk to God about it, because I feel like the answers that I'm looking for, no human has. It's way deeper than that. It's questions. I ask questions that people don't really know the answer to. You know, and those are the answers that I need to be answered. Um, the only person that can answer that is God, because He created man, He created woman, He created life. You know, so
What questions
um,
exactly are you trying to have answers to, if you don't mind me asking, just so I can understand?
man, it's just like, I wish we could live on an earth where everybody could get along with each other. I just wish that you know, just the matrix of this life and how it's built and how things are operated. It, it I don't know, man. It's just, like, oh, you can do it, but I can't do it. Um, type of situation, or you know, just what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, like there's different standards between men and women, obviously. Um, you really got to catch me at a time where I'm really in my bag when I get to talking about just topics in general. And I've also did that at work. Like I would write down topics that I want to talk about, because I have a lot to talk about. Like that was happening to me at work. Um, I just don't understand why. I got called a bitch at work before, and I never harmed or talked crazy to anybody. I wanted to be his ass, to be honest with you, but I wanted to keep my job. Um, I just don't understand people, but at the same time, people they go through their own struggles, and they project a lot. I know that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just don't understand why the world is the way that it is. Like, why is it so difficult, to be successful? You could do everything right and still fail. That doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, I don't understand why we have fruit and we have water and natural resources and we have to pay for this shit. It's free. Um, I just wish sometimes we lived in an era where money wasn't everything. I just wish that we could actually value something different than money and the physical traits of each other. I feel like this world is not spiritual at all. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
it's more material. I feel like it's more physical than it is spiritual. Um, and it's just a lot of violence going on, ill-hearted people, people that just don't like you because, your spirit is too bright. You have an anointing on your life. People just aim to misunderstand you, even when you're speaking very clearly. Um, it's just, but this is where I draw the line at, though.
Mm-hmm.
They killed Jesus Christ, so what make you think they ain't gonna do it to you?
Mm-hmm.
That's what my mom tells me all the time, and it humbles me. I be like, I be up, Next thing you know, Dewan, they did this to Jesus Christ. You think they won't do it to you?
Mm-hmm.
And they most definitely do, So looking at it from that perspective, that's why a lot of questions pop up in my mind where the rebel in me just comes out, because it's just like I don't understand why this is going on. But the same thing, how I feel, is the same way that Jesus Christ was trying to prevent, and hung that man on the Christ and killed him.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think my questions are going to be answered, not until my time is up.
Gotcha. Can I suggest something? Just. I think I had similar experiences to what you're referencing with like trying to understand why is the world the way that it is, and like how can people be so terrible to each other and all these things, right? And there's a book that's called A Man's Search for Meaning. Okay, and it's a pretty wild story actually. So it's by a doctor that was a psychiatrist, and he went to Auschwitz. And so when he went to Auschwitz, he had to figure out how to survive, and he saw people that were like, um, bringing their own people down and being shady and all these different ups and downs and bads, and he could see some good out of the bad that was involved in that and stuff like that as well. But the main thing is at the end, of the book, you kind of have a better understanding of like what is the meaning of life, what is a happy life and fulfillment and things like that. Like one of his big quotes that always resonates with me is called, "A man that understands his why can handle any how." Does that make sense?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Woo!
Yes. Okay. I'm glad. Hope that resonated with you.
I need to know all of that stuff. Like I need to know why. That's my biggest thing with me. I need to know why. If I don't know why my mind is going,
Mm-hmm.
it has to make sense, because if it doesn't make sense, then what are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I completely
And
understand.
that's how my mind works. Like there has to be some kind of functionality where this actually has to make sense. If it doesn't make sense, it's going to blow my it makes me angry when I
Mm-hmm.
don't understand something. And it's not that I can't understand it. It's just that I feel like the truth is being withheld,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not telling me what's going on. You're making me seem like I'm tripping when the truth is right in my face and you're not telling me it.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So that's a scenario itself. There's many scenarios. Life is an anomaly, in my opinion. Like it's like a dice. You shake it and roll it, and it's exactly that. You know, it can be anything. It can be literally anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't know anything. We may feel like we know, but we don't know nothing.
Mm-hmm. And the more questions that you get answered, the less you understand. It's fucking a paradox.
Yes.
Yes, brother. I understand.
You know, like I'm very conscious. You know, I'm very, very conscious, and sometimes that's like, I don't know if that's a gift or a curse, because it's like the more you understand, the more life it's depressing, because
Mm.
it's just like I wish I didn't understand this, but I understand it so much. It's like even when I'm in situations with people and I'm going through stuff, and I can see situations happen before they happen. I can see it. I'd be like, yo, I'm telling you this is gonna happen based off the way you're acting, what you're doing, and what you're saying. It's going to happen. I know it is. And
Mm-hmm.
9 times out of 10, it does.
Because you're aware and
Because
you have pattern recognition.
yes,
Yes, I understand exactly what you're talking about, brother. I have the same thing.
yes. I don't everything it's like I'm Neo in the Matrix. You know what I'm saying?
I know
Like
exactly what you're talking about. 100%.
like I'm seeing stuff that normal people that are just living life, just lolly la 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 la, don't really they're not really connected to what is that?
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're not. I question everything.
100%.
You know,
Because how else do you know what's true unless you question it? 100%.
and that's why my mom said I was hard headed. You know, because my mama may tell me something. I'm still gonna find out.
Yeah, the hard way. I learned the hard way myself from getting in marriages I shouldn't have, joined the military, all these things that told me not to
Dang.
do. I did it regardless because I had to know for myself. I can't go off at other people what they say if I know their mistakes that they've done or the poor choices they've made. So I completely resonate with you.
And what did Jay-Z say? He said, "I'ma live and die with the decisions that I'ma pick."
Mm-hmm.
You only got one life, and you got your life. So it's just like I made my decisions, and so does everybody else, and of course I could have made better decisions, but how would I know if I didn't make the decision?
Exactly.
And how would I be a great dad if I didn't fuck up and make mistakes?
Mm-hmm.
My mistakes, obviously, in my opinion, I told my son this. I was telling him this too. He's been, I don't know, man. I'll just say, like, when he's over there with his mom, he's a little soft. He'll fall down, he'll cry. But when he come over here with daddy, we're going to play basketball. And I've been teaching them the game, teaching them football. And I'm like, these sports are physical, right? But all this is, what it's telling me is that life is physical. That's what I'm telling him. I'm teaching him that, hey, if you get into a fight, this is what it feels like.
Right, you're just bracing for the real world.
Everything.
Mm.
And he's only 6.
Mm-hmm.
He's only 6, but I'm teaching him and showing him, like, get up. He'll hurt himself, or we're playing. I'm like, that's a part of life. When you go outside or when you play with your friends, you have a possibility of getting hurt. That's just a part of it, baby boy. That's a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's A-okay. I had to show him, I'm like, daddy has a broken knuckle. I don't have a knuckle. My knuckle was dislocated, I had a boxer's fracture. Then I passed out at my uncle's house. I had to get 8 stitches in the back of my head. Then they told me my bone moved and I haven't had a knuckle, you know? And I'm telling him now, I'm showing him the scars on me. I'm like, baby boy, this is what it's like. You know, obviously I'm gonna be here to protect you at all times, but I need you to understand that you gotta be able to pick yourself back up. Don't let this world beat you down. Don't let nobody beat you down. Every time he comes in here, I'm testing his mental. I'm always teaching him something. I'm on him, but I let him, you know, be himself, let him run around and stuff like that. But I just want to make sure that, and all this right now is making me want to call him. I'm not gonna lie, it's making me want to call him because I talked to my daughter a couple of days ago, but I've been wanting to call my son. And what's today? Today's Friday, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so he has school today. So I just want to call and check up on him because this conversation is just, you know what you're doing, brother. You know exactly what you're doing.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. And actually, my whole reasoning for doing this is that I grew up in very crazy circumstances with so much suffering and depression and father figures that came out of my life and
Don't get me
narcissistic
started.
parents, all these different things, right? And if I would have had a mentor or guidance like you're doing for your son right
I
now.
feel the same way.
Exactly. And so that's
All
why
I
I do
had was
this.
my mom. My mom did not know how to raise a man. When it got to a certain point, it was like when I got to, I'm 6'5", okay? When I got to 6 foot, I'm taller than on my shoes, my mama didn't know what to do with me. There was not too much that she could do with me. Her advice for my success was to go to school. That's all I heard from her was to go to school, go to school. I wanted to play basketball. I wanted to play football. You know, I found out that sports is heavily on politics. It's not about if you're good or not. It's about if they like you or not. It's a lot of stuff that goes in the midst of that. And, you know, man, woo, I got a lot to say.
And I think I resonate with you for a second because I feel like once you then understand those systems, then you start wearing masks to try to navigate and get ahead in certain areas. But wearing the mask is exhausting.
Yeah.
So if that resonates with you, I'm not sure, but
No, it does. It most definitely does because, you know, being yourself sometimes is not accepted, man. Like, I don't know, like at my job, you know, people are loud as fuck at work all the time. But the moment I was expressing to my lead and we were talking about, because I didn't want to be at that job, I was very unhappy, but I know that I had to do my job in order to pay my bills, right? So I'm just expressing to my lead, and she came up to me and started talking to me. It's not like I engaged in these conversations with anybody else. I'm sitting rightfully by myself in my own area, and she came and spoke to me. And it brought some emotion out of me because, like I said, my children, just overall just being unhappy there, the way I was being treated, the way I was being talked to, the way I was being looked at. They didn't respect my work. They didn't value me. And it's just like, okay, yes, I understand I need a check to pay my bills. Yes. But right now I'm coming home stressed out. I have more gray hair than I ever had in my entire life. You know, I thought the people at my job were cool. No, you know, obviously I knew that, but you know, I had some cool people, but some people that I was cool with ended up moving into management and they just turned very, 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 very sour. And, you know, like I said, I was talking to her. I ended up talking about something and I ended up like, I guess I got passionate, you know, I'm a very passionate person. And the reason why I'm passionate is because I understand life. You know, I don't have a dry, very mono personality. Everything that I talk about, I feel it very, very intensely. You know, I'm a Pisces. My birthday is March 17th. I'm very, very spiritual and I can feel everything. You know, I can feel everything.
you're empathic.
You know? So, like I said, I was talking to her. I got a little passionate about something. The supervisor came over and was like, "Is there a problem?" And I'm like, Who the fuck you talking to like that? Like, we not doing that. It's not a problem. So he walks off and was like, man, if you don't want to be here, you can leave. And I'm just like, what? Like, why are you talking to me like this? Like, all you had to do was, sir, was come over and say, hey, is everything okay over here? You guys okay? Yeah, we're fine. Thank you for checking. All right, cool. And went on about his business. But he felt the need to portray himself and poke his chest out and make a scene where I reacted, and then he walked off. But once he walked off, my day was already fucked. So I went up to him and said, hey man, do you mind if I could talk to you here? We could talk in the office. He said, hey man, you're not finna keep approaching me like this. I'm like, what do you want me to do? Like, what do you want me to say to you? You know, how do you want me to approach you? How can I say something to you? You know? And then I just wanted to talk to him man to man. And I'm like, I don't really appreciate your attitude and how you're treating me and how you're talking to me. I've been here for 2 years, bro. You just now getting here. I understand you're the new supervisor, but you don't got to talk to me like that, because I worked on 8 different machines consisting of PLC and HMIs and lasers, chiller systems, going down multiple lines and having to keep it moving because it was a 24-hour shift and we were running materials through the machine all night. And based off your skills of how you know how to operate it's 8 machines, it's 4 lines, but they're cut where I was 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2, so that's 8, right? So if you know how to do that and how to keep everything copacetic and know how to, you know, bypass the alarms, fix the issues, get everything back and running under pressure, you're good. But I did all that, man. I did all that by myself for almost, like I said, 2 years. And I just got disrespected. But, you know, like I said, I'm just trusting God at this moment, because I was overly worked and not really, I got paid, like, we were getting paid $25 an hour. Then we got a raise after 2 years. We got a raise of 60 something cents. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. You know, I added more responsibilities to my life. I got my own place, obviously. And once you do that, you know, I was just talking to my friend about this. I was like, in life, I was like, people don't really understand how life works or how money works, in a sense. Like, when you start adding more stuff to your responsibilities, like you add a car, you add your rent, you have dogs, things of that nature, you have to up your salary. You have to, because the salary that you're making right now is not going to be enough. Every time I in my opinion, it hasn't been enough. I was making around $60,000 a year, but it still felt like we were living paycheck to paycheck.
So it's very common for most people nowadays as well. So, and you're not alone in that. One of the big topics of what's the worst, that's the common theme, honestly. So go ahead.
Right. So, you know, living a paycheck to paycheck, it was just, you know, I got tired of that, you know, because my children, they need and I need, and I want to be able to make my house a home, you know, for my children. And, you know, I started feeling like, you know, I need to leave. I need to make more money, you know, based on the skills that I have and what I know from an engineering standpoint and maintenance and things of that nature. I just felt like I needed to change. And coincidentally, ever since I left the job, you know, when I started putting my resume out there, jobs have been hitting me up. They've been calling me. I've been hearing offers from, you know, $75,000, $70,000 a year, you know, making around $30, $35 an hour, you know, and I've never even made it that far. So, you know, once I started seeing over the hill that that's a possibility, I knew that God was there. I knew he was there. Just give him time. Because, you know, as you know, in this era and this life right now, it's kind of hard to find a job right now. You know, it's kind of hard to find a job right now. But, you know, I trust him. And I've been seeing everything that's been, you know, going around, because I could see if I lost my job and not a singular job hit me back at all. That's not what's going on It's a lot of jobs that's been hitting me back, calling me, interested in my skills and my skill set and things like that. So um, that I'm not really too afraid, honestly. Even though I'm walking by faith, I can't see or touch anything at this
Mhm.
moment. Nothing's physical that I can touch and know that I know that's guaranteed that's coming. So that's one of the aspects for sure, I would say.
Gotcha. And we've been talking for quite some time. Hopefully, this makes you feel like seen and heard, and like you're not
Oh,
going
definitely.
alone with this. Like that's the
Man, like,
whole
you changed
purpose
my
of this.
day. Honestly, you changed my day.
And which is wild because when I came in here, you were vibing and dancing and having a good vibe. I mean, I thought I wouldn't need to help you at all, but it looks like it made a difference regardless.
Yeah, man. I mean, you never know. You never know. You really never know. You never know who may be going through something. You never know. Me, I'm here. Like I said, I'm here by myself. I had to turn myself up. I had to get out the bed and do something because there's so much stuff weighing heavily on my head. I had to wake up and figure out how the rest of my rent is going to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to my mom, talk to a couple of companies and stuff like that. So I feel a lot better. That I have some stability behind me. But at the end of the day, there is still work that needs to be done.
100%. 100%. And let me kind of throw two things real quick. So, with that one first book I got you, will let you more know about your own self-awareness about like quality of life with happiness, right? The second book I would highly recommend to check out, man, that will help you navigate these people that get under your skin and they act out and lash at you and get you worked up to this point where you start looking like the crazy person. Trust me, been there.
Yes.
Trust me, been there. I know what you're talking about. I go to therapy myself to deal with those issues, especially when people know how to push your buttons. So there's a book called The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. Okay? Highly recommend it because then you'll start understanding the history of humans. Almost like the same as like if you were to study marine biology and study dolphins, how they navigate and migrate, their natural tendencies. And this book will show you like different forms of narcissism, about how certain people use it to weaponize against you and things like that. All these different things are like tools that'll help you navigate through life. So when people get at you like that, you can just look at them like, oh, you're like a child then. You're not really like when
and
you
that's one thing, and that's the main thing for me. My thing for me is that I am afraid that if I leave this earth, I don't have all the information or enough of information to give my children. Like the things that I go through, I don't want them to go through, but I'm trying to figure it out myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to be able, when this comes up, I can have the right conversation to be able to tell them because I successfully completed it. I have still things on my list. I just go blank.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, and like you said, these books, because my uncle is my younger uncle, and he's very intelligent, he's very wise. My granddad, rest his soul, before he passed away, he was a mind guy. He would read these kind of books and then go out and test it on people.
100%. 100%. I'm the same way.
So that's what he would do because he was going through a crisis like that where he didn't understand people. He came from a small town, Muncie, Indiana. I'm originally born in Indiana. I was raised in Columbus, Ohio, lived in Oklahoma City. Then I eventually ended up moving to Atlanta. And before he passed away, that's why I feel like I wish my granddad was here, because all these talks that I'm having with you, I would have with him.
Mm-hmm.
1,000%. 1,000%. Like when I was younger, I didn't really understand my granddad like that. I didn't, he would want to go to the jazz festival, and I think like, oh, don't nobody want to go to the jazz festival. But the first time I ever went to the jazz festival, I was like, damn, I should have been coming with my granddad. I should have been doing this with him. The older I got, I started to understand a lot more in life. I started to understand, and I just started to understand, and it was like one of those crazy things where it's just like, I just wish my granddad was here because I could talk to him about the things that I go through and what did he do necessarily to overcome these issues. Mm-hmm. And like I said, he had tons of books, thousands of books, a lot of books. So, when I talk to my uncle, my younger uncle, he's like the spitting rare image of him. And he would tell me, yo, man, you need to go get this book, go get this book, go get this book. And I never heard him talk like this ever before in my life until he started saying and started talking like this and started acquiring knowledge. And I see how it makes him And it's like he's very firm, he's very sturdy, he's not rattled, he's very calm.
Almost like a
And it's
stoic.
just like,
It's
huh?
stoic. It's almost stoic is what.
Very, very, very stoic.
100%.
And this is the thing, he had his dad in his life. He had his dad in his life every single day. He was on his ass every single day. My older uncle, which is his brother, they were raised by two different men, by the same men. When my granddad was younger, he was in the Marines. So just think about the mindset, how he taught my uncle, how he raised him. He had him in the back digging holes, fixing the roof, you know, teaching him about stuff, just teaching him. Because even still to this day, my older uncle still talks about everything that his dad taught him. Same thing for him. Like I don't have that. I don't have like, oh, my mom taught me this. I can't dial back and say, yeah, my mom taught me how to do this. I don't have any kind of tangible skill. You get what I'm saying?
I understand exactly what you're saying, because I didn't have father figures myself, which is why I joined the military, because I thought if I don't have that, I'll join the military, it'll teach me how to be a man. I'll get out of the military, I'll be in the fire department, they'll teach me how to be a man even more. And I gotta tell you, through all that process, it just taught me that the depiction of a man is subjective, just like the whole point of happiness is subjective, right? And so once you understand that, it makes life a little easier to navigate.
Man. Jesus Christ, yo. And you know what's crazy? Like when I lost my job, and the crazy thing is I felt something in me where I knew that the end was coming. I felt it. And then I just started, my son had called me. Man, I just started breaking down. I started breaking down in tears. And he didn't even do nothing. It's just the fact that I heard him talking. And I just broke down in tears. I lost it in front of everybody. Like I couldn't do it. Like I couldn't do it. And I just felt like he was calling out for me, like, Daddy, I need you. You know, and I can't do it, bro. Can't do it. I've been here crying, man. I try not to. I really try not to. But
it's okay though. It's okay to cry, man.
Mom, you know, I talk to my mom. I try to talk to my homeboys, but sometimes I just be here by myself. Like I said, I be here by myself, and you know, I feel like I'm not understood. That's one main thing. That's probably what's the worst, is not being able to be understood. You know
and hold on, I think I know exactly what you're talking. I literally talked to my therapist this 2 days ago, where I said it's so frustrating that everybody wants me to understand them, but when it comes in return for them to understand me, they're like, no, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Does that resonate with you?
Man, it makes me angry. It makes me angry, bro. It makes me very angry.
I'm sorry.
Me angry as fuck, bro, because it's just like, I can understand you. You know, I can hear everything you're saying. I can reiterate everything that you're telling me, but for some odd reason, you don't understand me. Everybody wants me to understand them, but when it's time for me to tell them how I feel, they want to tell me what I need to do instead of understanding me. You get what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying.
That shit pisses me off, because it's like, you know, everybody deserves understanding, but when it comes to me, I need to do what you're telling me to do. But when it's time for me to tell you how I feel, you don't want to hear what I'm telling you. But you want me to understand you. That don't make sense to me. How are we going to get to the bottom of the problem if you're just continually trying to bully me and thinking that I'm wrong and you're right, or I'm doing something wrong and you're doing everything right?
Because I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off either, but that's the other sad part, is that just like trying to understand what it is to be a man or what is happiness, it's all subjective. So just like trying to understand another person, or you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing, every person thinks the right or wrong thing is subjective as well. So that's where the communication falls. And we have this world that you're talking about where there's so much injustice and people never get along and they want to charge things that are free. And at the end of the day, we all are brought up in different livelihoods and upbringings, with fathers or not fathers, with mothers or adoptions, and all those different variations of not communicating with each other with these things is what leads us to have these outbursts and conflicts.
You ever like be around a certain people and you have an ideology about something, and you can go around a completely different group and you say what you think about your ideology, and they look at you like you're a fucking weirdo?
All the time. And that's why sometimes it's just easier to be quiet than it is to just be yourself. hopefully you're all right there, man.
I'm sorry.
You're
I'm sorry.
good. I
I'm sorry.
resonate with what you're talking about. I've lived your experience that you're referring to.
I'm sorry. You know the main thing that I've been telling my son. You know the main thing that I've been telling my son. I've been telling my son to stop talking. I tell him to stop talking because it can help him. It can save him.
Mhm.
Just sometimes I know you want to say something, but just don't say anything at all. I've been teaching him that. He's 6 years old, and I've been telling him this because it's real. It's real, you know, and it's, man, I had to learn that myself too. Like, you know, like, even though you want to say something, you have to bite your tongue, you know, and it's, man, and that's why, like, I be quiet. I be quiet when I go around people because I don't know what, I don't want people judging me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want people, like, when I first started dating my girl, like 2-3 years ago, I purposely went in not saying anything at all, not talking because I didn't want to incriminate myself, just being myself and them having an ideology of who I am. And this is just a scenario. This been happening to me in all facets of life. But, you know, I went in purposely not wanting to talk that much. And the very moment, because they were getting annoyed, like, yo, why he don't talk? Why he don't say nothing? Why he so quiet? It's a reason. Because the moment I started talking and being myself, I immediately started getting judged. Immediately. And that's why, like, right now, like I said, a part of me being alone, I can love myself. I don't have to hear anybody saying what they don't like about me. I don't have to hear the inadequacies that people feel that I have, or what they're doing, what I'm not doing. I can just genuinely, honestly, just be myself and be happy. You know?
Yeah, you self-regulate.
You know, and that's why I love when my children come over here, because I put on a display of peace. I allow them to do whatever they want to do. You know, go. You know, that's why, like, I'm a gamer. I'm a big gamer. I stream. I was thinking about streaming Arc Raiders. I'm a big time streamer. I'm thinking about, you know, not thinking about, but I'm going to get them their own setup because, you know, they love gaming. They see I've been gaming since they were children. You know, my daughter loves to play video games. My son loves to play Madden, football. He loves to play basketball. He loves to play Sonic, all different types of games. And I just want I want that to be our way of connecting. You know, our way of, you know, your way to connect with your dad. And of course, sports and, you know, just being a dad and teaching them how to live life, obviously. But I want our main core of who we are as a family, me, my son, and my daughter, that we like to game together. We're like gamers. You know, they have their own room. They're having a good time. I'm in my room. I have my ambiance. I have everything in my mind of how I want things, and I'm trying to grab it, and I'm desperately wanting it, you know, because peace is my main thing, and comfortability, and you being able to be yourself, free of judgment, and being loved in the highest form that's what I love. I love it. You know, I love it, you know, and I want them to always know that peace resides here. Like, there's a sign on my wall. It says good vibes only when you come in here. It's good vibes. That's all we are. Cause like I said, like you said as well, we came from households where they were crazy, you know, not enough love, you know, stress,
No stability.
me and my sister, blood sister, we don't even talk that much, you know, and that kind of gets to me too, you know, but I don't really talk about it, you know, but me and my sister, we don't talk that much, you know. She has a family, she's married, she has multiple kids, and I understand that, but just like how I can call my mom, I should be able to call my sister. You know, we don't have that relationship, you know, and I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's just, I'm trying to figure it out on the way, you know. And I wish I could. I mean, I can't have a conversation with my sister, but I would like for that type of thing to, like, naturally happen, you know. But at the same time, it may take some conversation to be held and to take, you know, to be had to, you know, be able to make this into something. But, you know, I'm not gonna say like we don't talk. We talk, but we don't talk.
I understand.
We don't talk. We don't talk. We have no real relationship at all. We don't talk every day. Like if I'm going through something, I'm calling my mom first. I'm
Hmm.
talking to my mom. I'm calling mom. Like my dad, he was never really in my life. Um, he's not even. He don't. I don't know nothing too much about him, honestly. So that's just another story of a black man. Don't have his dad.
Hmm.
But my mom, like I said, there's no shade or no knock on my mom's back. She did the best she could. I appreciate her. I'm not dead or in jail, so she did her job. But everything else, still trying to, I drop down to my knees and pray to God and just try to figure this stuff out because it's tough out here, man. It's tough, and that's why I kind of
100%.
stay silent about a lot of stuff because it does make me very frustrated and angry, honestly.
Hmm. And just give it time, brother. Once you start understanding why people are the way that they are, because that's what I had to do. I could understand why my siblings or parent role models or even best friends would betray me and treat me in such ways when I would give them nothing but love and peace most of the time, and thought like, why could this happen to me? And then I had to go down the rabbit hole of like, why do people do this to people? I thought we are supposed to have peace and all this uplifting and stuff like that, but it doesn't seem to be the case. I'm told one thing, but when I see in reality, it's the opposite. So I understand what you're saying with that, man, and it will just take some more time. You got a lot on your plate with finding a job, raising the kids and stuff like that. So just be patient, man. It will come along. But I do want to share one other thing too, man. If you're kind of hesitant about the therapy type of situation, this myself going to therapy also led me down this path to have a better understanding and be able to control my emotions. And when people try to get you all worked up and things like that, and that's why I'm able to be in this demeanor and do what I do now and give back to people like yourself. And so if anything comes from this conversation, hopefully it gives you the perspective that therapy may be something worthwhile, just hearing it from another
Yeah,
man himself.
yeah, yeah. I'm most definitely gonna take consideration of, especially those books. I feel like I need to do something different in my life because I've been, just kind of been playing it safe. But I feel like I need to take more action and take more charge and what's happening into my life,
Hmm.
and actually just trying to, push back a little bit, just trying to gain knowledge and get answers that I need to feel a little bit better about certain situations and how to operate when certain things do happen to me, and just basically just mastering an art
Hmm.
of, yeah, that's the main thing. My uncle Ben's telling me this, like, you got to master some of these things because it's not going to happen overnight. You're not just going to be able how to do it by yourself. You have to have the knowledge, wisdom, and strength to be able to do these things, so I've been trying to wing it by myself and trying to figure it on my own and thinking that I can try to do it and hopefully I make the right decision. But you know when I'm put out there and I don't understand what's going on, I'm always going to react emotionally.
Hmm.
Because that's all I know. I don't know anything else.
But brother, just to let you know, that's human. Humans typically always act emotionally first before they go with ration. So just understand that, man. And once you start understanding the emotions and you can stop yourself and say, why do I feel this way? And recognize why you feel that way, it makes it a lot easier. But again, that's something more that therapy's taught me and a therapist will better explain than I can do right now because I'm not a licensed therapist by any means.
Right, right. Yeah, man. I appreciate the conversation. My son is on my mind. See that
Yeah.
6 o'clock. I need to call his little butt because he's on my mind. I appreciate this conversation, man. I really do. You
Awesome.
know, yeah. So I appreciate the conversation. I'm most definitely gonna. I need to follow you, John. I'm following you, John.
Well,
I
thank you,
got you,
man.
brother.
I appreciate it,
Yes,
man.
sir, man.
So the last thing I would want to say too before we depart, if that's okay, is that I feel like we had a good conversation and both, had understanding. And my whole project with this is kind of like a humanitarian project that there's so many people out there, not just men, but women too, that feel like there's no one out there to talk to, no one's going to understand them and all this like that. And if I have this huge catalog of all this suffering from different issues of what's the worst to everybody, that you can see you're not alone in whatever suffering it may be. Does you
Yeah,
understand? So I always
yeah.
ask for consent if you don't mind me clipping this maybe at a later date to post it out there. But if it's
Most definitely,
okay,
most definitely. I feel like everybody's living essentially the same life. This is another one of my things. Like, you can't really judge me about what I go through because everybody's going through something. It don't
hmm,
matter what it is. Like, I don't really care. Like, a lot of people that make a lot of money, their life is broadcasted all over the internet.
hmm,
You know, and we all essentially live the same life. We all want to be able to connect and understand and feel like we're not alone. So I don't really care. I'm gonna live my life and do what I need to do, and I'm good. So I
awesome.
understand, and I'm always still gonna march and keeping my head held high. So yeah, most definitely. I might post it myself.